Okay, so we've been sanding the legs, just cleaning them up a little bit. I cut one end on each one. So now we're doing 35 and a half, which is just going to clean up some of these. That's as long as I can make it while trimming any kind of defects. So. Yeah, so it just makes it through. So I gotta trim these other three. So we clamped these little blocks here, just glued on one side here for support on the legs. I ripped 2-inch. It's gonna be like a top support, and we're gonna hit it with some pocket screws here. So I got this clamped on. All right, so we did 3 1/4, glue and screwed. Doing this other one right now here. So get the 3-inch screws. Doing 4 per leg. Pre-drilling so we don't split. Got it clamped up here. I double check, make sure it's square with the cuts here. Dope is tough stuff. It really. I made these pieces longer too, so I could fit them in between here. Nope. There we go. Been sinking them flush. Like that. Now we're going to do this side. Okay, so we just put the short side upside down on this table here. Just rip these 3 1/4 to match this. I might fill this out also. But anyways, spaced it 2 1/4 evenly around. Lined these up, did 2 1/4 from the edge, and then I just traced these miters here. So we're gonna cut it flush with this edge here. So just did a test cut on the miter saw to make sure we're good. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I'm gonna have to transfer that mark. Or yeah, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this. Yeah, so. I'll just cheat up to it. Yeah, so we get this all positioned. Now we can do a piece from here. I'll sister it all together. Let's see if that cutoff is long enough. Might get lucky. Sweet. Yeah, so we can mark this side here and just cut it little at a time till it's perfect. So we'll do that. Okay, so we ripped 2 more for the other one going through the oak here. Ripped those. I'm going to do pocket screws on this. Come right in there with some long screws. I got the bit maxed out here. This is 1 3/4, so this is thick. I mean, this goes to 1.5 inches, so we're gonna make it work. You just gotta watch splitting. Over here, what I've decided, I'm gonna do 3.5 inch long screws with oak plugs to cover the screw holes there and here. So that's the game plan right now. So drill these pocket holes here. Some people love pocket screws. Some people hate them. I love them. I think they're super fast for what, you know, you want to get stuff put together. And they're strong, and you can unscrew them if you have to, you know. So I'm going right in the middle, try to avoid splitting. We're gonna sink it into that, and let's do this next one here. Just like that. Okay, so we got this joint all clamped up. We measured 7/8 in from this face. It's half the thickness of the 1 3/4. Got my 3/8 Forstner bit on here. Did the square mark down here. Doing 1 inch from the edge. And we're gonna drill the holes for the plugs. We're gonna start it. We're gonna have to start it kind of straight just to get it started, and then we're gonna turn it at a 45. And go a little deeper. So that's perfect right there. I'll do one more. Okay. That's probably good. It looks pretty even. Okay. So now we're putting this bit on for a pilot hole. Gonna run it as long as we can. These are 3.5, so these are pretty long. So. And we're gonna just angle the drill right in line with that. Yeah, we're gonna do the 3.5s. Okay. I gotta get some longer drill bits. We just really don't want to split this. Tighter on the top. Sweet. Now I can pull all these clamps off. Yeah, that's good. That's solid. And we can do some plugs, cut that, sand that flush. And now we're gonna do the same thing over here. We're gonna shift it and clamp it and do the same thing. So we're gonna do a support in the middle. And instead of ripping into this stuff, I took the cut off from the tables from cutting the miters. So we're scarfing this like that, and then we're gonna put this piece like that, and this piece like that, and we're gonna glue it all together, run it through the planer, and then, you know, these will all be glued up. It'll be like one piece. I already did that over here on this, reusing the scrap. So yeah, so we're gonna do one more of those glue ups. Then we have the two middle support pieces we can screw in. So we're planing more lumber, getting there. I jointed it like I did earlier, jointed it on one face and one edge, and running it through the planer. So I just flipped these knives on the DeWalt brand knives, and they just did not last long at all. I got a different brand here. So we're slapping knives in again. I wonder how much a helical head would be for this thing, because I mean those carbide helical heads on. I mean, I got one on the joiner, and it just lasts so much longer, stays sharper so much longer. I mean, these are pretty easy to change, but they got dull really quick, you know. So but at least this thing, it's got the little T-handled Torx. It's really not too bad to swap them out, but anyways, thought I would mention that in this this video. So I got this piece on, screwed it in, did some extra screws just to hold those joints, just to reinforce it. Got another one of the spliced up pieces, just ripped, cut it to length, went 30 inches. I got her squared up. So this is how I lay it out here. Tighten that. Got my mark 30 inches. Let's go down. And then we're gonna come. And then you can take the rulers 1 inch wide. Like that, boom. Hold it up here. So that's your marks right there. Get the Forstner bit lined up. You can just use the bit as a gauge on how deep you want to go. This is really thick, but with the plugs, how deep you want to go. Yeah, so we'll go a little deeper on this one. I got some tapered countersink bits that does this all in one step, but I want to get this cleaned out as much as possible here. And you can feel it, that little point gets it dead center. Oak's tough stuff. You gotta really get the chips out. I'll go 3.5s. Sink those bad boys in. This thing too with the 5 amp hour does so much better. Just really gets them tight. So yeah, so that's good. We gotta do a middle support on this other one right here. And gotta figure out what we're doing for legs in the middle here. Make them even with that. But I'm thinking pocket screws on this whole edge. Doing the I don't know what I'll have to show you, but the figure 8 type tabletop fasteners, so this can expand and contract. But yeah, anyhow, and then I could screw these halves together, and if I have this set back just a touch, it'll make that top really tight. So the sawhorse is with 3.5, either 4x4 or the stacked 2x4s. Gets the height perfectly even. So we're just screwing the two sections together now. These I'm not going to do plugs on. So we're just going to kind of stagger them here. Just to try to not hit any of my screws either. So I'll just do like the the middle here. This way they can come apart if you ever need to move it. Bit's not going through. What are these, 1 5/8? But yeah, those are perfect. Sink those in. Get the top, or not the top, but I get that clamped flush. There we go. All right. Yeah, so we'll just sink those all along here. So we're doing the legs now. I'm thinking of mitering them and having them pocket screw into this. So we're laying out, we're gonna definitely need 4. I'm thinking like L shape here, L shape back there, and then we can work on pieces to connect the two, you know, and be a support for a base shelf and whatnot. So that's what we got going on. So I just cut 2 of them here, rough cut, give myself some extra length. And here's the second one right here. So I'm just laying those over the top of this board, picking and choosing, so I can trim out knots like that and end checks. So yeah, so we're gonna cut this guy right here. Just rough cutting them right now. This saw's been great for that. Just getting stuff broken down. This has got one little knot, but it doesn't go through, and I can put it on the back side. There's our 4 right there. So I'm gonna figure out, I'd like to get a 5-inch face, but with the miter, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. These are right around 5.5. We might just make it. I might have to cheat it a little bit, but you're not even gonna be able to tell. So we're gonna make them as wide as possible, basically. And I'm gonna throw this at an angle here, and we'll dial it in. Get this to 45. Okay. Should be a positive stop on that. All right, we'll check that with the miter gauge or the square. square. Yeah, I'll check that with the square. So that's our cut right there. So you saw how that just cleans it up. That was as wide as I could make it, which it gets us a 5 1/4. And I want to say it was 3 1/2 on the other side. Let's check the face at least. 3 1/2. So we're going to be happy with that because it is for the middle. Here's one right here. I'm going to put this one in the back, but how they're going to go, they're going to go underneath and just come together like that. A nice miter joint right there. So that's, yeah, so it'd be like having a 2x6 on the outside, 2x4 on the inside, even though it's not technically like that, but we're getting a 3 1/2 inch face and we got a 5-inch face. So close enough, you know what I mean? But that's gonna be more than solid, especially when I do a cross piece and a shelf on the bottom. So yeah, we'll get 2 more to rip, and we're picking the best face. You know, trimming out whatever we can where we can. So all right, so we're gonna glue this guy up here. Get some plastic down. Painters tape the back side of this miter here. We're gonna fill this puppy with glue. That fine edge is a little tricky of a glue up here. Just be careful not to break that edge. Let's make sure we get plenty here. Got a lot of surface area with this joint here. I got Gramps old corner clamps here, the miter clamps. Just boom. Slip this on. Just get that face lined up. There it is. I'm going to throw a couple other clamps on it just to tighten her up, but those corner clamps will hold it. Okay, so there it is. Peel back the tape a touch. That's nice and even, tight. Right here, I had to loosen this one and just give it a couple quick squeezes right there, Reg, you know, and then I retighten that. Put a little tension on the middle, did do 2 clamps like that. Hook that one just to tighten it up. So we're gonna let that drip and then call that good. New stand's getting some paint or getting some glue on her. I put tape on the essentials, so but it's fine. But yeah, so we're on to the next one. Get the clamps ready and do the next one. Okay, so second one right here. I peeled the tape on both. I don't mind cleaning up a little glue. You want this tight. So on this one, it was the opposite. I actually needed to bring the middle in. So I just rubber clamp right here, or rubber padded clamp. Just quick grip. Squeezed it in. So we got good squeeze out on both sides. Looks perfect. So we're gonna let her drip a little and bring her inside where it's warm. So got some sunshine, boys. Get the doors open. Got our shop dogs. So we're gluing this. Just trimming it to fit on the miter saw, real precise like. So you get a nice tight fit like that. Some leftover rhino roof. Keep the glue off the floor. So we're just clamping this, gluing this in here.